Hello guys, good morning. Happy Sunday. It's the first Sunday of the new year and I'm going to talk to you about contraindications for control balance on the mat. Clearly I am not in my home. I am in an amazing hotel room and so I'm not going to be able to show you control balance on the mat, but we have several free tutorials that you can check it out. Essentially it's an overhead exercise, and so I'm going to chat about like who shouldn't be doing it, why they shouldn't be doing it, and then what they can do instead. Before I get into that, if you do have access to a reformer, right now we have a free accountability reformer program. In fact, you can actually sign up for it any time. It started last week, but the way I put this program together is that it's for you as soon as you're ready to have an accountability partner in your reformer practice. So if you go to opc.me/challenge, opc.me/challenge, that's going to take you to the program. You sign up, it's free, and you can you'll start to get emails with the class that you can take. So the first one is 10 minutes, the second one's 20 minutes, third one is 30, and the fourth one is 40. If you're like, Lesley, I'll never have time for 40, do not stress about it, because the emails actually talk about how to create habits that stick, truly how they work, which is not the same as a 21-day consistency thing. That doesn't work, by the way. And also like what you can do, and you can apply it to any habit that you're wanting to make happen. So it's really useful information. Again, it's totally free. You never have to do the full 40 minutes of any of the workouts. You can actually always stick with the first 10, or you can pick the second 10. They all build on each other. So go to opc.me/challenge to sign up for that for free. My mat lovers, I got you covered in March, and it'll be the same link. So if you're watching this after March, you can access the mat one as well. Okay, so let's talk about contraindications for control balance on the mat. Here is the deal. Anytime you have an overhead exercise, if there's a neck shoulder issue, it's a no. Just straight up no, it's not happening. Whether that is a permanent no, it's up to the body that you have or that you're working with. So if there's fusions, it's a permanent no. If it's just a ache or pain that's happening right now, as soon as that is no longer an issue, then you can do anything that's overhead. But control balance on the mat, if you're looking at the order, it's the second to last exercise. Now that doesn't mean it's the second to last exercise you learn. What it does mean though is one of the most complicated overhead exercises there is, because you're only balancing on your shoulder girdle, which means if your thoracic spine is tight, or it has fusions, or it has any conditions that are going on there, the exercise is not for you. And that's all overhead exercises. So you can apply this to anything: jackknife, rollover, overhead on the reformer, all of them. Now, that might sound really like a bummer, like, oh my God, I'm never gonna be able to do those exercises. Like, what am I doing all these other things for? But the truth is that I believe in replacing exercise you can't do with ones that you can. It increases the stamina and endurance that you need to have anyways. And also, control balance is just single straight leg stretch on your shoulders. So when I'm teaching people single straight leg stretch on the mat, even when they're beginners, I am preparing them for control balance, period. So single straight leg stretch is going to help prepare you for control balance. Open leg rocker is going to prepare you for control balance. Jackknife is going to prepare you for control balance. When you have those exercises going really well and feeling really strong and connected in your body, then you can do practice control balance on the mat. Now, if you have access to a mat that has handles, and if you go to our show notes or you email my team, they will give you our affiliate link for a mat with handles. It makes the mat a true piece of equipment. I often hear people say they like prefer the reformer to the mat because, you know, whatever reason, it feels harder, feels more like a workout. The truth is that the mat is the hardest workout there is when it comes to Pilates, because you have to use your entire body yourself. You have no support, you have no springs, you have no pulleys, no nuts. But if you have a mat with handles, when you're preparing yourself for overhead exercises, it really does help you strengthen your upper back. Okay, so you want to try that out. If you don't have a mat with handles, then using a TheraBand to pull apart underneath your body, so you'll just pull it wide on the mat underneath your hips, is going to help strengthen your upper back and give you something to stand on. Too often I see people can't do overhead exercises, not because they don't have the strength of their core, but they actually don't have the strength of their upper back. So you're going to want to make sure you're building that up. If you go to onlinepilatesclasses.com, I have a workshop called Bottoms Up, and I teach you how to prepare your upper back for getting your hips over your head. All that being said, the short and simple answer is, if you've got neck, shoulder, thoracic stuff, overhead exercises like control balance are not in your practice at this time. or possibly ever, depending on if there's fusions. You guys, fusions are a really big deal. If you've gotten a fusion, you don't want to be bending around that fusion, because it actually is just going to damage the joints around the fusion, and it's going to guarantee you'll have to have another fusion. So of course, like, it's a bummer if you've had one. I prefer people to try to find different ways to work their body before getting one. But if you have one, there are other things you can do besides control balance. You can do single straight leg stretch, and you can do some stuff on the reformer and stuff on the Cadillac, and you can do some standing stuff. So there's plenty of ways for us to challenge your body the same way control balance does, without being on your shoulders. Hi CJ, thank you so much for being here. So you guys, I love your questions. Like I said, we answer your questions every single Sunday, 9 a.m. Pacific time. And so if you just put them in a comment on any video and I'll answer your question. Any question you want to ask is fine. If you're an OPC member, you can ask your questions in our members only group. You can also get feedback on your form. So if you actually film yourself doing an exercise, I or the other teachers will actually give you personal feedback on your form. So if control balance on the mat is something you struggle with, then film it as an OPC member, send it in, and I'll give you some feedback on what you should be doing or could be doing to strengthen that body. If you're not an OPC member, go to onlinepilatesclasses.com/YouTube. There's a 40-day trial that you can do right now, and you can get that form feedback in those 40 days. And if you hate it, you can quit. No big deal, no hard feelings. All right, loves. I hope this is a fun way to think about control balance on the mat. I hope it gave you some ideas of what you can do instead, and also full permission to leave it out, because we're not here to impress anybody. Pilates is not here to entertain you. It's here to strengthen your body and especially move your spine. And so there's plenty of other exercises you can do. If you want that accountability, opc.me/challenge. It's free. I'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much for being here.